My 5,000 euro house is making my life very hard. My house in the woods has 2 floors. The ground floor, which used to be the cellar, it's cleared. And then the top floor, which I just painted and will be my bedroom. But there's another floor I haven't really talked about. The attic. Today, I'm going to face it, head on. Oh. I'm actually gonna set foot up here. I can actually stand up straight. This could be an extra bedroom. The place was disgusting, worse than both other floors combined together. But there's potential here. It's official. This isn't just gonna be storage. This is gonna be a lot more than that. Then I discovered that the chimney here goes right into my room for little critters like this to get in. Bro. I saw that bushy tail for just a second before he went up into the attic. I don't know where he went. He's... That is adorable. I tried to feed him a cracker, but I couldn't reach. This is engineering. He just seems so polite.
It's smelling it. Oh, it ran away.
Try to leave it up there.
Nailed it. He did not accept my peace offering. He came from above. Why do you refuse our cracker? Anyway, I had to keep going, so I created a cover for the chimney to keep the pests out. That is a masterpiece. I also did the same on the inside. I'm not going to be using anything like this until the winter, so I don't feel bad about covering it at all. Then it was time to clean up, starting with the big stuff, piece by piece, throwing it all the way down.
Oh my god.
There's cars down there. I'll be more careful. I didn't hit it.
But what are you throwing?
Bricks. I tried to sweep up, but the broom just wasn't strong enough, so I switched to the shovel and started scooping and throwing it down. My friends who came to visit were not enjoying this, but they definitely were having a better time than I was. It was brutal and took what seemed like forever, but finally... Completely clear. No cobwebs. This was the hardest floor by far. But it feels good. Oh no. Thankfully, the day didn't end that way. 2 strangers appeared out of the woods. This is the trail I built. They told me they were locals and remembered this place from when they were younger. Are you guys like immune to these stinging nettle things?
We're used to it, sort of.
They invited me to a much-needed barbecue. I really enjoyed myself. But when the party is over, I have to face the mess. Follow this page to see what happens next. Buying this 5,000 euro house has taught me more about people than anything else. After making a massive mess cleaning out the attic, I was regretting my life's decisions when I heard a noise in the forest. Hey, you see me? Hi. It was 2 local teenagers. They knew this house was out here, but just weren't sure how to get here. They wanted to work, so why not? My next unexpected guest was a volunteer firefighter. He brought some tools to help me clear the forest around my house. Just to be clear, I don't know these people. They're just my neighbors from around the forest. They just wanted to come and volunteer to help. I didn't even ask. These vines had gotten so overgrown that some of them had gotten stuck in the roof. I wasn't sure how to get them down. It's clean up there. It's clean. Turns out one of the teenagers fixes roofs during the summer. He showed me how it works and invited me up. I honestly know nothing about clay tile roofs. This is how you do roofs in Europe?
Yes.
You just set the tiles down?
Yes.
You don't do anything to hold them? The view up here is absolutely amazing. With some help from the ground and above, we were able to clear the roof. This is a great way for teenagers to spend the summer, that's for sure. The weed whacker got caught up in this chain link fence. I'm still not sure exactly where it goes, but we had to cut it. So thankful for these guys. We made massive progress, but I had to move on to other tasks, like filling cracks in my door to keep the bugs out. It's not pretty, but it works. That evening, my other neighbor came up and cut off these hooks that were hanging from my ceiling so I could stand up straight in the cellar. He told me to come by in the morning for a surprise, so I did. Turns out the local fire chief heard I had no water and arranged for me to get this 1,000-liter tank brought up to my place. So I went back up the trail and started clearing a way for it. One of the teenage boys from the day before brought a different friend, and they wanted to help me clean. We got the space looking nice, but I knew we could take it further. They wanted to keep going, and so we did. We started hacking through the forest to make a complete 360 perimeter around the property. and man, it was hard work, but it's crazy how clear it is. When I went back down to get the water tank, there was another surprise. My neighbor fixed my window. We also ran to the store real quick to buy some tiles for the floor. Very soon, I'm gonna be a lot more comfortable. We started loading up the tiles one by one. Dang, bro, you strong. Set the water tank on top, and then started our way back up the trail. The first thing I did was install that new window. It's looking great. Perfect. This water tank is surprisingly light when it's empty. We moved it into a spot for it to stay for now. We unloaded the floor tiles, and tomorrow will be the day that we begin installing them. They loaded up some of the debris from the attic and then headed back down the trail. I love these guys. Follow this page to see what happens and who I meet next. My 5,000 euro house is finally starting to feel like home, even though it might not look like home. It started early in the morning when I was awoken by a tractor outside my door. The man explained to me that he was the former owner of this place years ago, and he heard that I was out here and he wanted to get some firewood and help clear the path even more. It was amazing watching these two work. They really knew what they were doing. I had to go down the trail and into town on my own to get some supplies. When I came back hours later, they were still there working. When I got to the top, they gave me a ride back down the trail and told me they would come back early the next morning. Unfortunately, I still had to walk back up on foot with supplies. Then my neighbor called me about the water tank we brought up yesterday and said we should fill it, so down to the well we went, filling up barrels bucket by bucket, one at a time. We took the tractor back up the trail and moved the tank to a more secure spot. When we opened it, there was a surprise. Looks really good in there. Alright, we tried to clean it out using the tools we had on hand. Luckily, this broom was able to fit inside. I just started trying to scrub off all of the dirt. I was struggling to get it clean when I remembered what I brought up today. This is a battery-powered shower. Just put it in a bucket of water, turn it on, and there you go. Look at that, from that bucket to here. That is awesome. I was able to get the tank much cleaner. So we started pouring the water into it. First with buckets and then by the barrel. I haven't cleaned the tank enough for drinking, but this water can be used for loads of other things. Like this new toy I bought. Yes, if I want to do my business, I no longer have to dig a hole in the dirt. It's actually super easy to use. Whoa, whoa my God. Just fill it up with water, add one of these blue things, and pump it a few times, and you're ready to go. You just have to empty it every 5 days. On the way back down the trail, I was given more good news. The local fire chief wanted to let us borrow a generator so we could continue with the remodel. This is the one. We loaded up the generator on the back of the tractor, plus all of the other tools we needed, and headed back up the trail again. It's time to get this messy bedroom a tile floor. First, I needed to move all of my stuff out. I feel like I just got evicted. Now my room is ready for a new floor, and I will sleep in the cellar until it's done. Turns out my neighbor's son is a master at installing tiles and has been doing it for a living for 5 years. Now that he has all of the supplies he needs, he can get to work on making this room beautiful. This kind of work requires skill and precision. What would have taken me hours took him just a few minutes. And of course, he wouldn't let me pay him for his time, no matter how much I asked. Bruh. The walls weren't exactly straight. What was I doing while he was doing all of this hard work? I was carrying tiles up from the ground floor. These are really freaking heavy. If you want to see what the finished room looks like, you'll have to come back tomorrow. In the meantime, I decided I was going to take my first shower in almost 2 weeks. Follow this page to see what happens next. I've been digging in the yard of my 5,000 euro house and finding some crazy stuff. What the heck is it? It started when I was woken up this morning at 6 a.m. by the sound of a tractor. It was my neighbor and his son. As promised, they came back early in the morning to clear the woods behind my house. They made quick work of it. Then a journalist stopped by to take some photos and ask some questions. A friend of mine chopped down a few more trees. And now, I actually have a clear sight line of where the old vineyard was. So the original property line goes all the way back to here. Unfortunately, what that means is more trees. It was a long morning. I took a break and had some lunch when I was disturbed by the sound of some motorcycles. Local boys I'd never seen before in my life came up and wanted to work. I'm not sure how they found me. When trying to clean up next to my house, I came across this spot. It looked like some kind of rug. I've been digging on this thing for like forever. I am determined to dig this thing up. Little did I know this was going to consume the rest of my afternoon. What did you say it was? Pelinkovats. Turns out the previous owner just buried everything here. Cinder blocks on top of this thing.
Maybe it's a sign.
A sign of what?
I don't know.
Is that a cassette? You know what it is?
It's for music.
I'm gonna keep this and play it. What? It's like a whole garbage bag.
It's a cup.
Oh my gosh!
Friend.
It's a worm.
Yeah.
Very nice. Srp is what it's called?
Yeah.
Srp.
Yep.
At that moment, I heard a tractor coming up the path. Teilmeisterin! My neighbor was back to finish the other half of my floor. We brought the generator out and got back to work. While he was doing all of that precise professional stuff, I was digging in a hole with the boys. Digging in the dirt is fun, that is a fact. We finally found the edge. This thing is freaking huge. This is classic previous owner stuff. You never have any idea what was going through their head when they did what they did. Why did they put all of this under the rug? Oh my gosh, it's full of garbage. It was fascinating and unnerving. What is hiding under here? We have no idea what we're gonna dig up. Whoa, a brick. What the heck is it? It's a cassette player. Look at that. What is that?
Garbage.
A garbage. Good point. Finally, after hours, we got the rug out. Look at this monstrosity. We started to clean up the debris as best we could. Think smarter, not harder. And I sent the boys home for the day. They did pretty good. I was just in time to see the final tile laid down. Now half the floor was dry and half the floor was not. And I wasn't able to close my front door. I came up with a quick solution for that though. This will have to do. Follow this page to see what happens next. I bought this 5,000 euro house because I wanted to be alone in the woods. What I ended up getting was much better than that. Today I'm gonna find out how much land my 5,000 euros really bought me. This is the corner of the property line. As you can see, it's still buried in the woods. While I was trying to attack some of these vines, 3 of the neighborhood boys came back up the hill. They wanted to work, so I had them fill in the hole we dug the day before. But that wasn't enough for them. They had brought their own tools and were ready to help me dig out that property line. Then another boy showed up on his motorcycle. Teamwork! Whoa, my gosh. Then 2 more new boys showed up. Have you guys been here before?
No. 2.5 hours walk.
You brought this for me?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was us versus the forest. Absolutely exhausting work. That was actually kind of fun. When we finally reached the back fence, we took it down. That is the fence. One of the boys suggested he build me a little staircase here, and I thought, why not? I had never seen anybody make something like this before. I certainly never did when I was a kid. Look at these stairs. Stable. These boys were crushing it, but then 3 new people. Yes. And these people were total strangers, but they brought the chainsaw, so that was nice. This is the biggest tree on the property. I was amazed at how many people wanted to hike up here, but then, out of nowhere, the volunteer firefighter showed up and he started weed whacking down the forest. But then, I forgot you were coming. My neighbor from down the hill came to finish the tiles with the grout. He was doing a great job, but there was a problem. My front door wouldn't close. So his dad came up to fix the problem, and he brought more new people. It's a freaking party. There's people everywhere. Looking good.
Yeah.
He took the door off and shaved it down with the electric planer, and it was perfect. Beautiful. Then the chainsaw broke. No! Thankfully, we had the tools and the talent to fix it. Everybody was putting in their best effort. Neighbors from all over the place. It seemed like the whole village was up here. How did you catch that?
I just did.
You just did?
Yes.
There's still a lot of cleaning up to do, but the yard is clear, and I couldn't have done it without these people. There's tons of potential here. The house still isn't looking the greatest, but now I have a bedroom. Dang, this tile floor is nice. Just amazing craftsmanship on this. Now I just need some furniture. Follow this page to see what happens next. I bought this house for 5,000 euros and I never thought I would get this far. Yesterday we removed a ridiculous amount of trees and brush. Unfortunately, we left a big mess. So today the volunteer boys came back to clean it all up. And there was a lot of ground to cover. One of the boys had brought us some lunch that he baked, so that was a great start to the day. Then it was onto the hillside just below the house. Most of the debris we cut down the day before got caught here. We found some interesting things. There's grapes growing down there?
Yeah.
Are you sure those are grapes? One of the boys wanted to catch the dormouse living in the attic with some apple, but it was a little too smart for him. The boys fought hard, but it was just too much brush to finish for them, and so they had to go home. Then the adult volunteers came again, and unfortunately it was too much for them too. You just pulled that out of the woods?
Yeah.
What do you think it is?
Can I say or no?
We were throwing down as much debris as we could, but those aren't my legs. I did not film this clip. Anyway, we were throwing down as much debris as we could, but then it started to rain. The volunteers went home, and I figured I would take advantage of the free water. Just to show you how dirty my face is. Yeah. While I was reflecting in the rain, I remembered. I have a neighbor with an excavator. I asked them the next morning and they were ready and willing to help. But the path was too narrow for the excavator to make it up to the house, so it had to carve its own path. It was simple. My new neighbor friend drives the excavator and his son and I cut branches ahead of him. Tiny little chainsaw. You broke the chainsaw? Okay, it seems simple. We went back down the trail to the workshop/chicken coop, and his grandpa helped us fix the chainsaw. We hiked back up the path, and that excavator was unstoppable. I've got so much footage of this thing. It's so cool. Our tread slipped off. Back down the trail we go. Okay, we got the chain. Now it's back up the path. We took a quick break. The sun was brutal, and we deserved it. Then we got to work on fixing the tread. I guess it's easy when you know how to do it. Then, of course, 3 more people showed up who I had never seen before. I told them to change clothes and put them straight to work. Of course, that was the reason they came, and to take a few videos. We still had plenty of daylight, and the excavator had finally reached the house. And you better believe it started putting in the work that nothing else could. Now it just had to reach the back of the house to remove the stumps we left behind. There's one, and there's one, and there's one, and there's one. Of course, this was no problem for this kind of machinery. It tore out the stumps, then we threw them off the hill and piled them up. At least the machine gave us a little bit of work to do. This is the biggest one. Now this one required a methodical approach. Focus. The beast is dead. It took 4 people to even lift it, but now it was the crown jewel to the pile of stumps. Finally, the excavator got to work on a very special part. So this is the house, and you're standing on the spot where the new addition will be. The perspective from here is amazing. There will also be a new addition to the house on this side. Follow this page to see what happens next.